Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Am I audible?
You are.
Yeah.
You are.
Thank you. So we will start. Hello and welcome. I'm Fariha. I'm working as an exchange coordinator in USAID's higher education system strengthening activity, HESSA. HESSA is a 5-year-long partnership between the governments of United States and Pakistan. We are working closely with 16 public sector universities of Pakistan. HESSA focuses on technical capacity building of partner HEIs at the system level to ensure enhanced employability of graduates. USAID's HESSA has a whole range of training suite for various stakeholders on campus, and women leadership training is one part of that suite. The program takes issues of diversity and inclusion seriously, which is why 4 of our 16 partner universities are women-only universities, and 48% of all HESSA trainees are women. Today, HESSA has organized this webinar to commemorate International Women's Day and highlight the experiences of our women from the Women Leadership Cohort 1. To take the conversation further, may I hand over the screen to Dr. Saima Hussain from one of our partner universities, Institute of Business Administration, who is the moderator of today's session and will introduce the panel and ground rules of the discussion. Dr. Saima.
Thank you, Fariha, for a very generous introduction. Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon, dear ladies. Okay, just give me a second. I need to shut my phone. Okay, sorry about that. Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon, dear ladies. Today, we have a gathering of women leaders from higher education institutions across Pakistan, and such an assembly is rare. I've spent more than 16 years in the higher education system of Pakistan, but I came into contact with so many of you only through the platform of HESSA. I see many familiar faces in my audience today and know that we are all very ambitious and energetic women who are contributing in our own respective fields and capacities within the sectors that we are working at with full dedication. Many of us have made tough decisions, tough choices. Others are still continuing to strike a balance between professional and personal lives. And there are many others who are still building their credentials to become leaders and to be considered potential leaders. Women leadership was internationally celebrated and locally celebrated at the level of universities very recently on March 8th. And I saw many pictures from so many of you celebrating the day in your own capacities with very specific areas to celebrate at your end. I know that many of you are making a very big impact in areas that will definitely put Pakistan on the map and will have many of us be seen and perceived as competent leaders, just as equals to others from the rest of the world. Some of us here finished very recently our training on the women leadership theme under the HESSA project, the USAID HESSA project. There are others here today who have embarked on a similar journey and will be engaged in this program over the next 6 months. Over the next 1.5 hours, I will be in conversation with 4 very impressive and fellow HESSA Women Leadership Program graduates to discuss what it is like to be a woman leader in higher education. Together, we will be discussing our journeys, our achievements, contributions, learnings, and suggestions. In order to manage time effectively, I would request participants to keep their mics on mute and note down questions as you get them, as you have comments that occur to you on a piece of paper. When we are closing our discussion and opening the floor for your questions and comments, please do use the hand raise option within Zoom, and Faria will help me manage the sequence as she sees your hands going up. So if everything is understood and if there is really nothing for me to explain further, then I would like to formally begin with my first question. Okay, I guess everybody is clear. There is nothing else to say. So is Dr. Gulgutai here? Okay, Dr. Gul, I would like to begin with you. Or before I actually start my conversation, let me introduce the four panelists who are here. We see two of them. The other two have not switched on their video cameras. I have Dr. Anisa Kamar, who is the chairperson of the physics department and a professor in physics at the University of Peshawar. I have Dr. Asfiya Obaid, who is the chairperson of management department at the NUST Business School within the larger NUST. I have Dr. Shabana Sartaj, who's an associate professor, heading the Department of English at Sindh Agriculture University. And I have my final panelist, Dr. Golgotai, who is leading the Commerce Department at Sardar Bahadur Khan University from Quetta. So I would like to begin with my first question for Dr. Golgotai. Please let me know if I'm audible to you. I'm not sure if she's still here. Yes, I can see her here. Dr. Gul, can you hear me?
I don't see a mic connected with her. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, and I also don't hear her back, so I'm not sure. Faria, could you please check with her?
Dr. Golgotai, you're audible and we can see you. Please go ahead.
I can hear you. Actually, I excuse for the electricity shortages. My internet connection is not that stable. Okay.
Okay. But am I audible to you?
Am I
Not sure.
Dr. Golgotai is
while she works out her connection, maybe we can switch over to Dr. and begin with her. Dr. Anisa, am I audible to you?
Am I audible? Yeah. I'm here.
Okay. So, Gul, I will begin with Dr. Anisa, and then until then, maybe you can work out your connection. Okay. Okay, so Dr. Anisa, you are a professor and the head of physics department at University of Peshawar. It is definitely remarkable to be a leader in the STEM field within Pakistan. I want to begin with you, and I'd like you to share with our participants some of your struggles as you came to this level within your department, within Pakistan, and what are some of your achievements that you'd want to share with the rest of us?
Thank you, Saima. First of all, I would like to thanks to the HESSA team that they organize such an event for all of us, and they provide us an opportunity to express our thinking to the rest of the ladies sitting around us. I start my journey, actually I did my PhD in 2004 in the field of theoretical plasma physics. And then I was worried about why the females are, very few females are there in the field of physics. So in 2011, I got a chance, the International Union for Pure and Applied Physics actually organized an international conference for the women in physics. And it's my first experience. I visited South Africa there, and I found that there are around about 265 females are there, in which are very dominant and prominent females, and some females got a very good gold medals in their fields, and they are exploring different fields of physics. And it's really amazing for me, and I met so many female there. The one question which is actually stuck in my mind, that in 2011, when I was there, only 2 females are there, and from Pakistan, and the rest from the other countries, around about 5 and 6 females are there. So I raised this question with the IAPAP administration, and they gave me the answer that actually Pakistan is not the member of IAPAP. So that's why we invited only 2 females from Pakistan. And so this question was stuck in my mind. And after return from South Africa, I decided why not to provide a platform from the women physicists in Pakistan, that we are united and then prove our strength to the international forum. So in this first step, I organized the National Women Conference in Physics for the first time in NCP, National Center for Physics, and so many male physicists was not in favor of that. So we personally collected the amount from about 70 to 75 rupees, and we organized a one-day activity there in NCP. After that, I visited ICTP, International Center for Theoretical Physics, and I'm just have a conversation with the Director General of ICTP, and that I'm interested to organize the regional conference for women in physics, because it's not only the problem of Pakistan, it's the problem of the South Asian regions, that the females are not as much prominent as compared to the European or as compared to the American females. So they agree with me, and they provided me around about 5,000 euro for that conference. And for the first time, I organized in 2014 the international, in 2016 the International Conference on Women in Physics, again in NCP, and I'm thankful for NCP and to the HEC, because HEC provided me around about 1.2 million rupees for that conference, and it was around the globe. So many prominent females are participating there, and this platform provide so many Pakistani women that they presented their work for the first time, and it's they are really enjoy this conference for the first time, that all the Pakistani female physicists start sitting together and they decided about it, what is their fate in future, and what they will do something for the country. So after that, I have again invited for another conference, and that is in 2018 in Birmingham. And fortunately, Malala Yousafzai was invited there as for the closing ceremony, and we both are from the same region, so they invited me to receive Malala Yousafzai. And when I met with Malala, so Malala, in the first glance, she asked me a question, do you have any problem, because I'm just going on the stage, and might be if you would like to convey your message from Pakistan to the rest of the people, then I'll be the ambassador. So I just gave suggestion to Malala that I have just only one point, that on the stage, you just request from the high-ups of IAPAP to give the membership of Pakistan, which was terminated in 1953. Then after that conference, after the Malala address, the Director General of the IAPAP met me, and he suggested me that you just send us the request and we will think about it, because Malala was requesting it, so that they don't have any option to deny it. Then in 2018, with the help of NCP, we submitted the application, and fortunately we got an opportunity to again, after 67 years, Pakistan becomes a member of IAPAP again. So in last year, the IAPAP selected me as a focal person from Pakistan, and they invited me to ICTP Italy to present Pakistan there, that why the IAPAP membership is very important for Pakistan. So it's a very golden opportunity for me. And they are celebrating their centennial celebration there in Italy. And I met with so many Nobel laureates there, and we have a very fruitful discussion. And for the first time from the IAPAP platform, my voice raises the voices of the Pakistani women there. And I'm thankful to the IAPAP again that they consider my suggestion. And it was a very interesting moment for me that after 67 years in the General Assembly of Science, I present Pakistan after 67 years. Really a very marvelous and important moments for me. And I feel that a single female do a lot of things for their country, in spite of so many barriers we're facing in the society. So that is my achievement, and I'm not yet stopped my journey. I'm fighting everywhere for not only for the Pakistani women, especially for the South Asian women. And now the IAPAP selected me for the WG5 group, where we have an opportunity that any female from the South Asian region or around the world, if they want to apply for any conference, we provided a traveling grant of the round about $700 for any type of activity around the globe. There are only 9 members across the world, and I'm one of them. For the first time, I'm presenting Pakistan there. And now in 2020, yeah, in 2023, now on 15th of June, we are going to organize ICWIP International Conference for Women in Physics. That is the 8th conference. We are organizing it in India, and hope for the best that inshallah I'll be there presenting my country there again. Thank you, Sam.
Inshallah. Thank you, Dr. Anisa. आपकी बातों से बहुत हिम्मत होती है. It is heartening to know that even a single woman can make such a big difference. Thank you so much for a very detailed answer. I will check with Dr. Golgotay if she's back, and if she can hear me, then I'll move to her. Otherwise, I will then. I don't think she is here. So, okay. Thank you, Dr. Anisa, once again. Dr. Shabana, हम एक ही ट्रेनिंग का हिस्सा थे, एक ही कोहॉर्ट का हिस्सा थे, and I know that we were all engaged in a 6-month-long project. So, आपने जो प्रोजेक्ट किया, उससे आपके रोल में, आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी में क्या इम्पैक्ट आया? And when you answer that question, please also help us understand the role that your mentor played in shaping your project.
Thank you, Saima, and thank you, HESSA team, for providing us with another opportunity to express ourselves and to express our issues and discuss what we have gained in all this process. Saima, can I add one thing? Since we are talking about women issues and all those things, I want to just one comment I want to give here, that ages ago, when Byrd was talking about Othello, Macbeth, Julius Caesar, and all those things, at the same time, there was a person, Shah Abdul Latif Bhittai, who was talking about women, who was talking about Marvi, Sassi, Soni, and Sumal, Mumal, Sorat, all these heroines. Those are called the heroines of Shah's Risala. So, at that time, he was talking about the strength of ladies, courage of ladies, fight of ladies. The Soni was walking around the mountains to find her love and all those things. I just wonder when everywhere there is a woman issues and all those things, what is the thing that has brought us from that place to this place? We have not gone forward, we have come backward. Our Pakistani society, or women in Sindh, women in Pakistan, everywhere. So what I say that we should see those reasons which have brought us from that place to this place. That now we are organizing such type of workshops, such type of webinar sessions and all those things to regain all that glory that we have lost. One is that thing we should see the reasons where we have fallen, political, social, or all those things. Now talking about HESSA project, HESSA once again has given us feeling of doing something. That training has not only developed us as academician, women leaders in higher education commission, but at the very, we are seeing inside, we are feeling where we stay as a woman, where we are as a woman. So we have not only learned as a woman leaders in higher education, but as a female, we have also learned many things from this. Academicians, we also learned many things. This was Sama, you said rightly that there was a project about this. We did one project also. That is a great thing, and whole the setup that was made by HESSA team, that trainings, then going outside, exchange program, then this thing about project. This project has helped us a lot, especially in my university when I developed this project, that my project is about bringing girls to profession, bringing them to profession. You see, I'm an associate professor at Agriculture University, so I'm at English side, but I'm seeing here issues of girls, issues of female students that what they are going through. Mostly what happens that most of our girls who have talked to me, they avoid to go in fields. Now you see that there are agricultural farms, there are veterinary farms and all those things. So the girls, mostly they avoid it. Or I can say in another words that there are less opportunities for girls to go and feed and work there. So what my project was, I wanted to encourage girls to come in their fields. You see, in our university, there are more half of our students are girls. Okay, if these half of the girls remain at home and don't join their profession, we lose half of our manpower. We are losing our talent. In agriculture sector, we all know that mostly women work in agriculture sector, in fields and in fields mostly women work. Previously, last week I was having session with women, those were from Tharparkar or Umarpur, so they were telling me about their issues. I also conducted one session there, how to bring them there. So they raised one point that we will feel easier if there are female coming to train us, if they are coming to teach us, if they are coming to tell us tips about agriculture, we will feel more relaxed, we will discuss with them. But when male people are coming here and they are talking with us, we don't interact with them. Our male can interact with them, but we don't feel easy or we don't feel relaxed to talk with them. If there were girls, we could do more. So this my project I have developed to bring those girls back to their profession. What are my activities? I have tried to build a linkage with industry to make industry create more opportunities for girls. I have tried to develop seminars for girls to come, what are opportunities for them and all those things, where they can apply, where they can find job, where are the platform where they can work easily. Now, one great problem, major problem that I'm facing, that is of, why girls are not going in field. They don't feel themselves safe. There are many issues, harassment issues and all those things. So what I have tried, and I have arranged 2-3 trainings on that, I have invited a woman. She is in gender studies. She's working. She's also lawyer also. She gives them lecture on harassment issues. What are your legal rights? What you can do? What legal action you can take against those people who are harassing you? Even I have tried to do it at institution level. Here in my university also, I have worked on those things. And there is a training that what you can do, what are your rights as a student, what you can do if a colleague, if a student, fellow student or a teacher harasses you. So this is all my project that I have worked on, and I feel good when now girls are coming to me from different faculties and they are telling me their issues which they cannot discuss with the male colleagues or other people. They are coming to me, they trust me. The great achievement that I have got is that those girls trust me now. They tell me their problems, and if some of them are very much hesitant not to bring them highlight their issues, so I'm trying to put them in secret, and secretly I'm trying to resolve their issues. But we need to talk about these things. And HESSA is the platform which has given us courage, which has given us a right path, that this is a project, you can take this to your vice chancellor and he will be with you, he will be on board, and you can trust him and he will also support you. So this thing, when it is systematized, it has helped me a lot.
That's again very heartening to know. Obviously, हम सब ने बहुत मेहनत से projects किए थे, हमारे mentors ने हमें बहुत ज़्यादा guide किया था. So आपकी project से अगर university में already impact आना शुरू हो गया है, तो ये बहुत बड़ी बात है. Good to know. Thank you so much for your response, Dr. Gulgutai. I will now move to you. If I'm audible, please unmute yourself. Because you belong to an all-women's university, I think you are in a very good position to tell us what kind of leadership models work when the university is very gender specific.
Thank you so very much for having me today on this valuable discussion, dear Saima. Well, in my opinion, the kind of leadership model that works for women's institution is particularly higher education of Pakistan is the blend of different models like participative democratic model, laissez-faire and transformational leadership model. But by keeping in view the lowest most literacy rate, female literacy rate of Pakistan, in Balochistan, we can say that in the women's university, the most effective leadership model will be the participative and democratic model of the leadership to achieve the broader goals. So according to me, this will be the best suited model for empowering females of the Balochistan to be equipped with higher education and to improve their skill set, as well as to be proficient in their to attain the higher education in a qualitative mode. Thank you.
Bilkul, I completely agree. I think we need to have a more participatory environment. Dr. Asfiya, taking my cue from Dr. Gul, I would like you to share with us ऐसी, because आप अपने रोल में काफी अरसे से चेयर हैं और एक बहुत established university की चेयर हैं, and you are leading an institution, a department where you have to guide both men and women. So what does it mean to be a woman leader? In other words, ऐसी क्या खास बातें होंगी, traits होंगे, characteristics होंगी जो कि एक woman leader को उसके रोल में establish कर सके?
Thank you very much, Dr. Saima, and I'd also like to thank HESSA for providing this opportunity. I think you've asked a very interesting and an abstract question, so to speak, because there's a lot that can be said in this realm. I think when I talk about this, I'd probably like to bifurcate it into two parts. For instance, I think there's one in terms of how I may have survived through this journey, which started a little more than 2 decades ago, and then there is what I have seen as an observation across other places as well. In terms of the characteristics, I think that if I try to contextualize, within our own customs, our society, our value systems, I think there is a past that I see, and then I see that the future it has started moving already. Like so I think the characteristics that we currently the women leaders espouse, and those that perhaps we should build in ourselves, that the two different sets to me. When it comes to thinking and my observation, my own experiences, I think that a lot that we hear from women leaders in Pakistan is the juggling of responsibilities. So wherever we meet and we sit about how we are managing the responsibilities, and unfortunately we're talking about domestic responsibilities most of the times. So it's not a role-related responsibilities. I've seen women, including myself, that I've had to stretch beyond my limits while I have observed that my male colleagues have not done so. And partly I think it comes from an inner feeling that I need to establish myself, and partly I would attribute it to where I belong to, the context, the situation. I think to prove yourself as worthy of responsibilities, of fulfillment of responsibilities, you have to stretch yourself. So you have to work more than what men do. I also think that as women, now here is where I feel that from our society, we've been brought up like this, and this is what we've seen. I think women leaders are, it stems from this fact that we want to prove ourselves, that we sometimes start striving for perfection. So I've seen that, and I've experienced this myself. I mean, I've put in so many hours at times, and then I realized that it was not asked of me, it was not expected of me, but I've done that because I felt I needed to, it should be perfect. And I think that to strive for perfection sometimes puts you off a little from your path. So you don't want to take any risks because you want to achieve and show that you can perform. So I think that as women leaders that I've observed, mostly in the education sector, I would say, in the corporate as well, I have colleagues, I have friends. Survival has not been very easy. So people have generally tried to take the safer path to establish themselves and to get support from the home base as well. So I think as women leaders, we see that many of us, including myself, perhaps that we don't take a lot of risks. So we don't move outside of our comfort zone. So I think this is an embodiment or a persona of a female leader that I have observed, I have seen, and in its evolutionary stages. And because of that, I feel that the characteristics that women should have, like confidence, clarity, we don't have that because we're always thinking, what about the husband? What about the family? Should I take this role that is given to me? Should I look for a better opportunity? Will he be moving and should I be moving with him? And all those things. So we don't have that clarity in terms of our own goals. Do we want this or we don't want this? And so I think there's some characteristics you have to be determined. And that I feel is cultural. It has nothing to do with culture. It's culture free. It's not bound by culture. You have to have self-awareness and confidence. I think these are 3 to 4 things which are very important and characteristics that really make you a leader. I think regardless whether maybe you're a male or a female, for females maybe a little more, we have to build confidence in ourselves. We need to make a place for ourselves. So I think
I could not agree more, and I will do not need to say more. मेरा ख्याल है कि बाकी लोगों के तो कैमरास ऑफ हैं, लेकिन आप मुझे नोट करते हुए देख रही थी और मैं डॉक्टर अनीसा को भी नोट करते हुए देख रही थी. आप जो कह रही हैं वो बहुत ट्रू है, बहुत हम सबके एक्सपीरियंसेस हैं. Juggling personal life with professional lives, prioritizing one over the other. और जब आप प्रायोरिटी भी सेट करते हैं तो you're constantly carrying the guilt कि ओ वो रह गया और वो रह गया, और फिर उसके बाद आप जिसको प्रायोरिटी पे सेट करके आगे चलने लगते हैं, फिर उसको भी परफेक्शन की इस हद तक ले जाते हैं कि अपनी वेलबींग भूल जाते हैं. सो आई थिंक बहुत सारी चीजें जो आपने कही वो बहुत ट्रू हैं, और थैंक यू फॉर अ वेरी एनरिचिंग आंसर. बाकी पार्टिसिपेंट्स के भी शायद इतनी ही रिलेटेबिलिटी हो, बिकॉज दिस सीम्ड लाइक So I think our conversation is taking us to discuss really more and more about how HESSA helped us in revisiting what we are doing. So Dr. Gulgutai, I'll come back to you. So अगला सवाल मैं आपसे ये पूछूंगी कि जब आप HESSA की ट्रेनिंग पे गई और वहां से आपने जो भी लर्निंग्स ली, जिसमें स्टडी टूर भी था, जिसमें वर्कशॉप्स भी थी, जिसमें ऑनलाइन मॉड्यूल्स भी थे, सो ओवरऑल इस पूरे पैकेज का आपके रोल पे क्या इम्पैक्ट आया? In other words, how have these trainings helped you perform in your role? आपको unmute करना होगा. Dr. Gul, please unmute yourself.
Well, am I audible now? Well,
yes.
The type of experiences that I have gained through this professional model through HESSA platform was that a good leader should be able to navigate different leadership styles by using the leadership model of effectiveness. That is to inspire others in dreaming bigger, and as well as to help the potential leader to be advanced in their careers, to help them to promote the vision or ideology or share the same vision by and also to strengthen the loopholes in already existing system of our that is existing in our educational institutions. So through these all professional competency programs, I have learned that leadership is not about implementing or following the same things that is already in practice, but it is to bring the positive change, to help the fellow colleagues in advancing their careers, in developing their skill sets and capabilities, as well as to help them to structure the required changes that needs to be changed.
So I think there is a problem with her connection again. Okay. So Dr. Shabana, I will carry what Dr. Gul was saying to you. मुझे जो जहां तक उनकी आवाज आई और जो मुझे समझ में आया उसके हिसाब से आई थिंक व्हाट शी सेड वाज कि हमको इस ट्रेनिंग से इतने we ended up realizing कि हमारे अंदर वो है जिसको लीडर कहा जाता है, वो अंदर ही है, और उसको इस ट्रेनिंग के थ्रू we were probably able to channelize, we were probably able to find it and we were able to channelize it. So जब हम इस स्टडी टूर पे गए थे वहां पे we met a lot of women leaders at the University of Alabama. And then we've also been meeting other women leaders within Pakistan. मेरा सबसे बड़ा इंट्रोडक्शन HESSA के प्लेटफॉर्म से आप सबके साथ हुआ है. इससे पहले इतनी ज्यादा खवातीन को एक जगह सिर्फ हायर एजुकेशन सेक्टर में एक साथ मैं कभी नहीं मिली. आई एम नॉट श्योर लोगों के ऐसे एक्सपीरियंसेस हैं या नहीं हैं, बट मेरा ये एक्सपीरियंस था. तो क्योंकि हम इस ट्रेनिंग में एक साथ थे और हम बहुत सारे एलबामा यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ एलबामा के women leaders से मिले. What do you think was so unique about them? उनमें ऐसी क्या बातें थी जो कि हम यहाँ पे ला सकते हैं और हम कहें कि ये अगर हम भी फॉलो करें तो we will probably have a good system to follow.
Saima, again, what Asfia says, that is the point. That is the point. What Asfia says, that we should come out of our comfort zone. So what idea I got from the talks of different women leaders there in the University of Alabama, and the women leaders who were coming from outside also, that life is not bed of roses for them also. They are also facing issues. They have also many legal and other issues also. They were telling themselves, they have salary issues, their salary is not equal to their male colleagues. They have leave issues when they are on childbirth or all those things. But the point is that they are striving hard to make their place, to make themselves visible. That is the point. They are striving for that. Now, you see, when President Cynthia came, she said one thing which I like more. She said, if you want to change, if you want to build others, build yourself first. Give time to yourself. Make yourself competent enough that you can make you can change the world. Firstly, it's up to you that you should do. Be fearless. Don't have fears in your mind and all those things. Then only you can achieve the thing. The second thing, you see, what one thing I got from them, that we went in a college. There was a speech also, their president was speaking also. She was coming from different, she worked in many fields. She resigned from one place, she went to other place, she resigned from there, she went to other place. But I see, living here in Pakistan, we don't do that. We say, okay, we got job here, we are working here, people know me now I'm relaxed here, I will not go somewhere else, I will not have any other experiences. Maybe I will have problems there, maybe I will face problems there. All these things haunt us. We are not going out and exploring things, exploring other fields, exploring other institutions. All these things, we are not taking risk on those things. Another thing that I learned there, the President Cynthia was saying that avail all opportunities that are coming on your way. Say yes to them. Like Asfiya also said that she has taken all my points. She said that we don't say yes to opportunities, but maybe because of many problems like family issues, like society issues, or fears that are inside us, that maybe there will be problem or all those things. So these things, we should come out with this. We should learn this. Another thing, Sama, we also went to different faculties also. We were invited by different ladies who were on chair, deans and all those things. One day they had kept this meeting also that you should go to different schools. And I know Gul and me went to Women and Gender Studies school and made their deputy dean Shobana. I'm highly impressed with their generosity, their hard work, the project she was doing crisis management, she was supporting rape victims, she was supporting the domestic violence victims, all those things. And the things she was telling me, their team, all the team was there. Too much work. And maybe here in Pakistan, we are working, but I don't think that we are up to that level. If we want to build not only our women, but our country, we have to strive hard, we have to work hard and do all those things. My other thing was that making collaboration inside and outside the institutions. Maybe we also lack that thing, also we lack. But I'm seeing through Facebook and all other things that now our younger generation, I would say them younger, they are doing this. They are inviting other people from other institutions to lecture them in their classes and all those things. These people are doing, which is a positive sign that we are doing. We are walking slowly, but at least we are moving ahead. This is the thing. One more thing that I would say is that our ladies should encourage other ladies also. They should develop an atmosphere where everyone feels relaxed. They should encourage them. They should appreciate them. Okay, you are doing good work. Keep it up. All those things. This thing is common there, but we are also doing this, but we need to do it more. These are the few things that I wanted to highlight, the differences that I saw there. The women there are really hardworking. They are striving hard, despite their issues and all those things. They are doing, and we should also come out of our comfort zone and work hard.
Thank you, Dr. Shabana. I think a lot needs to change in the patriarchal system of this country for that to also happen. But I think कुछ चीजें हमें अपने level पे भी करनी होंगी. बिल्कुल. Thank you so much. Dr. Anisa, I'll come back to you. आपकी इंटरवेंशन से पाकिस्तान वापस फिजिक्स के वर्ल्ड पे मैप हुआ, which is commendable. What will be your suggestion? आप क्या कहेंगी कि यूनिवर्सिटीज जो कि नेचुरल साइंसेस में एग्जिस्ट करती हैं पाकिस्तान के अंदर, उनको क्या करने की जरूरत है ताकि हम आगे जाते हुए बेहतर विमेन एनरोलमेंट या फीमेल एनरोलमेंट को इम्प्रूव कर सकें, हम भी कॉम्पिटेंट, ग्लोबली कॉम्पिटेंट लीडर्स इन फिजिक्स डेवलप कर सकें, और पाकिस्तान का ये जो इम्प्रेशन है कि यहाँ पे शायद नेचुरल साइंसेस की कॉम्पिटेंसी नहीं एग्जिस्ट करती, इस परसेप्शन को बदल सकें?
मेरे ख्याल में साइमा, सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम जो हम यहाँ फेस कर रहे हैं, अगर आप इंस्टीट्यूशंस के अंदर जाएं तो वुमेन एनरोलमेंट जो है वो बीएस लेवल तक तो आपके पास काफी ज्यादा है, लेकिन जो ही हम एमफिल पीएचडी में एंटर होते हैं, आपके पास वुमेन एनरोलमेंट जो है abruptly reduces. For example, if in a BS program, suppose you have around about 20 to 25 female students, when you enter into the MPhil and PhD program, it's only 4 to 5 students are there. The reason is the poverty in Pakistan. So the female needs scholarship. बहुत सारी ख़वातीनों से मैं मिली हूँ जिनका शौक है आगे पढ़ने का और साइंस की फील्ड में जाने का, लेकिन मसला क्या है, एवरेज बच्चा जो इस वक्त पाकिस्तान में है, पेरेंट्स जो है 5 से 6 बच्चे हैं, जिसमें से अगर 2 फर्ज करें मर्द है और 3 खवातीन हैं, तो पेरेंट्स इस निगाह से देखते हैं कि मर्द के ऊपर खर्चा बढ़ा दें, फीमेल तो वैसे भी पराए घर की लौंडी है, कहीं सेट हो जाएगी। ये जो मसाइल हैं जो हम फेस कर रहे हैं, ये सिर्फ पाकिस्तान का मसला नहीं, दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ ऑल साउथ एशियन रीजन्स। मैं जहां जहां जाती हूँ वहां ये, चाहे वो नेपाल हो, चाहे इंडिया है, चाहे बांग्लादेश है, ये चीज मैंने ऑब्जर्व की है कि साउथ एशियन रीजन का ये मेजर प्रॉब्लम है। तो एक तो मेरी रिक्वेस्ट HEC से इस सिलसिले में है कि हमें सेपरेट फीमेल के लिए स्कॉलरशिप ऑफर करनी चाहिए, और वो चाहे अर्ली कैरियर वुमेन है या मिड कैरियर वुमेन है, उनको कम से कम 1 साल तक किसी भी टेक्नोलॉजिकली एडवांस कंट्रीज में लेबोरेटरीज के अंडर ट्रेनिंग देनी चाहिए, ताकि जब वो वापस आए तो यहाँ पे कोलैबोरेट करने अपने बाकी फीमेल के साथ और स्टूडेंट्स के साथ, और इस तरीके से जो डिफरेंट एजेंसीज है उनको अप्रोच करें ताकि सेपरेटली फीमेल के लिए स्कॉलरशिप अरेंज हो सके। क्योंकि अगर HEC स्कॉलरशिप लेट से 50 स्कॉलरशिप अनाउंस करती हैं और 50 स्कॉलरशिप में 45 स्कॉलरशिप जो है वो मेल ले जाते हैं, तो फीमेल के पास सिर्फ 5 का कोटा रहता है। ये प्रॉब्लम अगर आप देखें तो स्कॉलरशिप के अलावा भी जब हम तमगे की तकसीम करते हैं, सितारा इम्तियाज है या व्हाटएवर, तो वहां पे भी आपको स्टेम एजुकेशन में फीमेल ना होने के बराबर नजर आएंगी। तो मेरे ख्याल में कोटा सिस्टम फीमेल इम्प्रूवमेंट के लिए जरूरी है, क्योंकि दुनिया की पॉपुलेशन इस वक्त द पॉपुलेशन ऑफ द मेल एंड फीमेल इज अराउंड अबाउट 55 to 50। सो दुनिया इस चीज को देख रही है कि फीमेल पॉपुलेशन जो है इंक्रीजेस डे बाय डे। सो दे थिंक अबाउट इट, व्हाई नॉट टू ट्रेन फीमेल फॉर द फ्यूचर। देयर इज अ पॉसिबिलिटी कि मेल पॉपुलेशन जो है वो इतना कम कि फिर वो फीमेल को ही हैंड ओवर करनी होगी। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, एक हिस्ट्री में ये पहली दफा हुआ है कि CERN की डायरेक्टर जनरल जो है वो फीमेल को नॉमिनेट किया गया है। इसी तरह वर्ल्ड बैंक के लिए जो है फीमेल की नॉमिनेशन आई है। तो मेरे ख्याल में इन चीजों को देखते हुए हमें इन चीजों पर फोकस करना चाहिए कि फीमेल के लिए सेपरेट। मैं इस बात पे हैरान हूं कि अगर हम एक घर को बगैर औरत के नहीं चला सकते हैं, तो हम इस मुल्क को और साइंस को कैसे बगैर औरत के चला सकते हैं? दैट इज द मेजर इशू, और हमें इस पे फोकस करना चाहिए। मैं तो इसके लिए बहुत डिटर्मिन हूँ और काम भी मैं कर रही हूँ इसके लिए, ये नहीं कि मैं आराम से बैठी हूँ, लेकिन हम बैठ के इस पे काम कर रहे हैं, बच्चों को ट्रेनिंग दे रहे हैं। और मेरी फिर चाहे IAPAC के प्लेटफॉर्म से इंटरनेशनल जो एजेंसीज है, डोनर्स एजेंसी है, चाहे HEC के प्लेटफॉर्म से है, मेरी एक ही आवाज है कि काइंडली इंक्रीज फीमेल स्कॉलरशिप either for the early career or either for the mid career women. So this is again my request.
Thank you, Dr. Anisa. Dr. Gul, if you are able to hear me, are you able to hear me, Dr. Gul? Dr. Gul, are you here? Okay, so Dr. Asfiya, I will move to you. And I would like you to help us understand why Dr. Anisa believes that there is more quota that the government needs to set aside for women, more scholarship opportunities to be available for women, more specifically to develop them as leaders within the field of physics. What interventions can be made? What can be done at the level of universities to improve women population within the power corridors? Are power corridors only restricted for the males? Or in other words, and literature tells me that power corridors, when populated by women, are more like token representations. That is more to move along the inclusivity agenda. It's still where women are seen as very nurturing, and so that often stereotypes them and doesn't allow them to be positioned as goal-oriented, mindful, ambitious, strategic thinkers. So if we want to change that, if we want those power corridors to be equally available for women, what can universities do at their level?
So thank you again. I will start off by continuing with what Dr. Nisa mentioned. So I think that there's a difference between equality and there's an equity. You see, equality, we ask for equality, we expect equality, but if we have to change the percentage of women in leadership positions, that we will initially have to develop policies at the university level which foster equity. Equity is important. Equality, perhaps as Dr. Nisa was saying, that if there are, let's say, 45 scholarships, if you look on merit basis, perhaps, the top 40 will be men due to various reasons, not just because they have intellect, but because of the opportunities they may have had. Like she's saying, the entire household is willing to put aside their priorities to, educate them and so on and so forth. And then, yes, intellect is also there. I wouldn't want to say that men don't have intellect. But the thing is that when it comes to women in Western societies as well, they have had to make deliberate attempts and efforts to provide an environment, to provide policies which can enhance equitable representation, which means that in the initial stage or phase, we will have to do something in order to provide more opportunity to women to join forums in universities, be they committees or be they central offices where there is decision making being done. They need to have a greater representation there. For that, I think universities will have to have a declared policy on diversity, equity, and inclusion. There are a number of universities, because this is now, this is the going term, diversity, equity, inclusivity. Everybody's saying we're doing this, right? And every university has some females who are in these positions. So those who are in these positions, these women are being highlighted, but what proportion are they of the entire workforce? That's not being told. So that story has to be told. And if you tell that story, then it's a dismal situation that we're in. So I think there has to be a declared policy. That policy should state how in the next 5 years will universities develop a pipeline. So what kind of policies can they develop to promote women? So if there are flexible conditions, they will have to spend a little more on training and development of women for their capacity building. There are too many committees in universities, and there should be a quota of how many women should be in those committees that are, the committees that are set up at the university level. We will have to see that in terms of, let's suppose, promotion policy, what percentage of women should be promoted every year. Not to put merit aside, merit has to be there. But you see, with merit, there are things like, how many vacancies do you have at a particular point in time? So these things matter. When you have more representation, it will give confidence to women, and then they will voice, as you were saying, the word token participation, when you have confidence and you can see, there are other women sitting on this table. So there will be somebody who will propagate your point of view. There'll be someone who will strengthen what you're saying, and so on and so forth. So I think universities will have to rethink. They will have to have a stated policy. They need to have KPIs on what they want to do yearly to enhance the representation of women. And I see that where it is happening, it's not a conscious attempt. It is happening because there are more women in the workforce now. It's not a conscious attempt. You will still see it's the same. So you see a number of women, but as a proportion of men, the ratio has not improved to the extent that it should. So that's what I think is foremost important, that you must have a stated policy.
Once again, completely agreed. Basically, what we are saying here is that leadership is not something that should be exclusively available for those who have power positions or those who are office holders. Leadership, much like entrepreneurial mindset, entrepreneurship is a mindset. So, and it is a very tacit idea. So you don't have a manual, you don't have a recipe that says, follow this step, follow these steps, and on the other side, you will emerge as a leader. It is something that happens when there is a mentor attached to you, when the system encourages you, when the entire environment is embedding you in a system where over time you will emerge as a leader. So it is a very tacit idea. It cannot be learned overnight. It cannot be learned from a book. It is hardly agreed on even in terms of a definition. So there are multiple definitions of what leadership is. And that was my key takeaway from the HESSA training also. We saw so many leaders and each was unique in the traits that they had. Each had a different style of handling, managing conflict, of positioning themselves as leaders. So eventually we need to translate what we've learned to our context, and we need to understand what works for us. Dr. Shabana, Dr. Anisa, Dr. Asfia, and Dr. Gul, all of you contextualized a lot of that. Somewhere we pointed out patriarchy as a problem. Somewhere we said self-doubt is a problem. Somewhere we said it's not just others who stop us from growing. We sometimes stop ourselves from growing because we do not allow ourselves to grow. We are bounded by our responsibilities and we tend to doubt ourselves. Fully said, Dr. Asfia, that a lot could potentially change if universities were to make a conscious effort to better the numbers. Just to share some numbers, out of approximately 200 universities, public and private universities within Pakistan, there are no more than 24 women that are in leadership position. VCs of approximately 200 universities, both public and private included, there is a minimum, there's about not more than 10% that is led by women. And when they are led by women, I'm not sure if those are really making the impact that we need. So leadership, once again, like I said, it is available as an idea to anybody who is doing work that is impactful, that gains traction. And it will eventually, your work will become a reason for others to consider you as leader and follow you. Pakistani system has underrepresentation of women for various reasons, and we've been able to point that out. We will now open the floor for questions or comments from participants. So before I do that, Dr. Gul, would you like to complete your thought because we lost you somewhere in the middle? Please unmute yourself.
Sure, Saima.
Please go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
Yes. So I was saying, I'm so sorry about electricity shortage and the signals weakness. I was saying that leadership is okay. So I was saying that leadership is not about practicing or practicing what is already in practice, right? Leadership is all about bringing the change or bringing the improvement in the system which is already existing in our educational institutes. So we need to change that already existing system which blocks the career development of other female leaders or the potential leaders in the higher educational setup of Pakistan. So it was all my point of view because it is all about academic excellence. We have to build the capacity students. We have to enable our students to be capable to lead the professional life. So for that, we need to help them to grow from minimal mindset to the growth-based mindset, so that they can economically devise the policies for the socio-economic to uplift our Pakistan as well as the province. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gul. We are now ready to take questions or your comments. If you have them, please do raise your hands, and then we will take them in order. I guess we don't have any questions. So maybe I can request my panelists for their final thoughts, beginning with Dr. Anisa.
Yeah, my final discussion is that women leadership is important, and the important thing is that by nature, woman is very flexible, and she adjusts everywhere in every environment which you provide to them. Flexibility is actually by nature in a woman, and if we bring these women on the table of discussion, might be the situation of the institutions in the future is going to change. Especially in KP, where I am, the women percentage at the university is not more than 2 to 3%. And there is a lot of other restriction as well, that even the school-going females are not allowed for the school, for the primary school as well as for the high school, and a lot of social as well as the religious constraint, which is actually not the religious constraint as well, that are actually made by the male as well. So I think that we provide them an opportunity for education, and then in the decision making, the woman thinking probably be take it, and then I hope that these things might be change the situation. If I just compare Pakistan with the Bangladesh, what they did actually, the Bangladesh actually trained their female in industries as well as in science and education and everywhere. And Bangladesh is now in the SAARC region. It is after India, is at the second position now. So why we ignore the presence of a woman everywhere in Pakistan? So I think in the development of the country, the role of women can ever and never be ignored. They have their capability and they have their chances that they prove themselves for the development of their country. If we provide them an opportunity, they probably play a very good role. And the second thing, women are always very honest and they are very dedicated. And I just learned one thing from my supervisor, that if you have 3 Ds, devotion, dedication, and determination, you can change the environment, the total environment, you can change it. So the second thing is that this is time that we recognize female, that they are not created only for taking care of the household. They are also play their role in the society in the form of a doctor, in the form of an engineer, in the form of a scientist, and everywhere they can move, because the religion ever and never put any constraint on their mobility as well as on their professional life. They ever and never interrupted. So this is my suggestion to all the women leaders, that should be determined and they play their role in the country for the development of and for the future development as well.
Thank you. Dr. Anisa, I will echo what you said. Definitely, it's not religion binding us. It is not culture binding us. I think a lot of self-doubt tends to stop us from growing. And that is what Dr. Asiya said. That is what Dr. Shabana said. That is also what Dr. Gul was saying. We need to transform. We need to shift towards a growth mindset. We need to believe in ourselves, and any change will begin with first ourselves, and then only later with the community, with who we teach, and with the society at large. Thank you very much. Dr. Shabana, your final thoughts.
Thank you, Sama. What I would say, I missed one point here, talking about the mentor. When I was doing all this, my project, Susan has been a great help to me. All the mentors, when we look at them, it was in itself an encouragement for us. Looking at Susan itself was giving us feeling of amazement and all those that how can she do these type of work, and very much dedicated, very much hardworking, and all those things were in her. Sometimes when we had a meeting, online meeting, every month we had that one. One day I was feeling very low. So I just broke out in front of her that these are the issues, these are the problems that I'm facing. People are saying these things to me, that why you are doing all these things. I am being labeled, I'm being done all these things. So she just quietly, she was listening to me very passionately. In the end, she said me that why don't you come to their place, tell them that, okay, whatever you are saying is right, it's okay. But what if we do it this way? Will it be more appropriate? Should we do it this way? I can add this thing in it. Your point of view is okay. But if I add this thing in it, that thing changed my whole concept of leadership. That thing changed my whole scenario that, okay, these are the wonders that we can play with people, with our colleagues, with everyone, to make ourselves at certain place, to get our targets achieved. One thing is that. Another thing, Sama, I would conclude that I personally believe that if our ladies in higher educational institutions, they are well trained on these women issues, all these problems, how to take care of those, what are our rights, what are our legal rights, what are our religious rights. Like Dr. Anisa said, that it's not religion, it's men, but they are naming it as religion. So all these things, if we ladies who are in higher education institutions, we can make change. I'm giving you one example. I will take 1-2 minutes. I'm giving you one example. Previously, last week, I had a session with ladies on agriculture. So there was a professor. She was telling those women, those ladies who were all, she was telling them that, okay, we are the, Fla said that a woman is the queen of kitchen and all these things. I was feeling from inside, then you are a professor and you are saying these things, you yourself are a professor, you are not in kitchen. So these type of things, when we say, people will quote it. Okay, there, Professor C, she's a professor in university and she was saying this thing. We are setting bad examples. These are bad examples to be said. Whatever we are saying as a professor, Dr. Anisa in her society, I in my society, you at your institution, in your family circle, Gul in her province, in her area, whatever we are saying, that will be quoted. Please be a good example. Say something good to promote our ladies, to promote their issues, to solve their issues. We should go in communities. All the work like the HESSA project is at itself, we are doing few things at very little stage, but at least we are doing something. This is the need of time that we should change the mindset of our ladies in higher education institution or in schools, colleges, wherever they are. Those are the people, those are the stakeholders that can change the lives of women in Pakistan. So I would say this thing. This is my idea about ourselves.
Absolutely agreeable, completely agreeable, and very comprehensively expressed. My mentor was also a sounding board for me. So every time I suffered from self-doubt, I was bouncing off my ideas and she was validating them, which was such a big it played a huge role in boosting my morale. It played a huge role in helping me see a way around my issues, the obstacles that I face. So definitely the program's mentors played a very big role in us going through this 6 months time and coming out on the other side with a very pleasant memory. Dr. Gulgutai, your final concluding thoughts. Dr. Gul, please unmute yourself.
Yes, Saima, we need to, like, for example, I would like to say that we are currently facing financial crunch in our educational institutes. So for that, we need to positive, and we need to developed our team members. We need positive and energetic professionals to bring up innovative solutions for our socioeconomic problems. The universities needs to realize the universities needs to revisit their role to develop the entrepreneurs, to help them to be developed as entrepreneurs, as well as we need the younger generations to demonstrate emotional intelligence as well as cultural intelligence, so that our problems that we are currently facing in our educational institutions should be solved. So that's what I want to share. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Asfia, before I ask you to share your concluding thoughts, there is a comment that I'm reading in the chat. It says such seminars are insightful, but the reach at grassroots level is still missing. Another thing I would say, with empowerment comes payback. And so that is required. Surely, yes, whenever somebody is assigned a responsibility, you are assigned a power position, it comes with a lot of responsibility and it comes with a lot of accountability. So managing your power position with a lot of transparency and staying accessible to others and being a mentor, being available as a mentor to others, to groom others, is definitely required. Dr. Asfia.
Would you like me to comment on what you've just said, or?
I want you to conclude. I want you to share your insights. Maybe you can also respond to my comment.
All right. I think, yes, for sure, the comment that you've highlighted, it is important because I normally also think myself, and I say myself that, whenever you go and attend seminars where we are discussing about empowerment of women, it's more so women who at least are now empowered who are sitting there. And so, yes, we need to reach out to the grassroots where it is still more of a problem. We are relatively perhaps a little better off, maybe because we've already made that journey. Yes, I think if I have to conclude, I'd say that one thing is very important. I think that when I sort of make a comparison with the leaders and the that who we visited in the US, and then they've been mentors to us as well, I still bring it back to the point that they have a lot of self-confidence. I think we need to build our confidence level. I think that will come from women who are now in some sort of positions of responsibility or leadership, that we need to do the hand-holding. We need to give confidence to other, young colleagues. We need to tell them that we've covered some, we've covered some miles for you, so you're in a better off place, and you can probably, reach the top a little more quicker. The pace can increase. So I think it is important that we should do the hand-holding. I think it is important that we build confidence. I think it is important that we recognize what our junior or young colleagues are doing. There's a need at institutional level as well. And there's a need at personal level, because sometimes when we reach such positions, there is so much on our platter. And I think when it comes to leadership, Unfortunately, the way that it is structured in Pakistan, there's a lot of operational work that you're still doing, and the strategic work that is required, and the development, the people development, which is the foremost part of what a leader should be doing. So a leader is not supposed to do, operational work and tactical work. They're supposed to develop people. And for that, you need to talk to people. And for that, you need to have time. So I think we need to look at our circumstances, but even within the given circumstances, I think there's quite a lot that women have achieved, and inshallah, I think there is a lot more that we can achieve in future as well, as long as we have the will and the confidence to move ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Asfiya, very well articulated. I would hand over the floor back to Fariha, if she is here, or somebody from the HESSA's team, because I think this has been a very enriching last 1 hour or so. Last 75 minutes have really helped us come together and agree on some commonalities that we all feel and that we've all experienced and that we've all struggled with to come out on the other side. And like Dr. Asfiya said, now that we are on the other side, now that we have some responsibility, now that we hold official titles, that brings us that with that comes a lot of responsibility to now also assume the role of being mentors for others and developing others, so that there is a future stream of potential women leaders. Otherwise, we're all so busy that we hardly find time to do this. I hope the participants found this insightful. I hope we are all going to leave with some food for thought, some conversations that could be carried back to our own universities and power circles. I see Amara here, so I guess you are here to close.
Thank you so much, Saima, and thank you for the panel, moderating the panel discussion. So thank you, Dr. Anisa, Dr. Asfiya Ubaid, Dr. Gulghatai, and Dr. Shabana for taking this opportunity to share your thoughts with us. It's been a wonderful journey. We've gone through this journey with you, with all of you, and the first cohort, just like the first child, is always very, very special. And we wish you all the best in the future. I think going through this journey with you, the key takeaway is that, in life, sometimes you just need that one good friend. And I think for women, that holds true, that one good friend or that one sounding board, as you said, that one mentor. So I think it depends on us now how we take that forward and how we bring up the women around us and provide those opportunities that we were provided by our mentors. And that's all I want to say. Thank you so much. We've created a Women's Day page on the HESSA website. All the lovely testimonials we got from you through the Women Leader training have been uploaded there, and the this webinar, the recording will also be uploaded there. And we'll stay in touch. Thank you all very much for taking out time this afternoon.
Thank you for the opportunity. I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation and this interaction.
Thank you to all for the participation as well as for your comments.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.